Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Hey, people are upset with Jay-Z because he said you shouldn't give family money for free. And I agree to an extent. Well, I agree. Let's say that. But they are mainly upset, I believe, because Jay-Z is a billionaire. And a lot of people are saying, hey, you got the money. If you got it, give it, right? Well, let's get into that, because for some of y'all who are hating on Jay-Z, I can tell that your thinking is very simple-minded and you're not really understanding in the grand scheme of things how the world truly works. I got this from unilad.com, and it reads, people divided as billionaire Jay-Z opens up on not giving money to his family, quote unquote, for free. Let's get into it so we can dive a little deeper into it, shall we? It said Jay-Z has gotten people divided after making comments about not giving money to a cousin who had approached him asking for help. Now, when you watch the video, and I may put the video in this video in this video I'm doing, reading it and watching it are two you get kind of two different perspectives. I don't think he was actually talking about it in actual time where someone wanted like $4,800. I think this is a number he just probably just threw out there, but you understand the point of his story. I do want to watch the whole interview just to see where the deeper context comes from. But it says the rapper, who was worth a staggering $2.5 billion, was being interviewed by Kevin Hart on his talk show Heart to Heart, and spoke about the difficulties of relatives asking him for money when he goes home for the holidays. Jay-Z explained that he wanted to go home to be with his family and as a sanctuary, and it made him uncomfortable when cousins approached him at family gatherings to ask him to help them out with a venture. On one such occasion, saw a cousin ask a musician for $4,800, claiming that he could turn to $2 million. Jay-Z, who shares 3 children with wife Beyonce, explained how he had to say no and was frustrated by the response that he didn't believe in their dreams. It goes, it's worth noting that, now, listen to this, because this is somebody, whoever wrote this is, kind of simple-minded too, but hey, anybody can get on the internet and post something, right? It is worth noting that having a net worth of a certain amount doesn't mean that you have that much cash on hand. It means the total value of all the assets that a person owns, such as properties, trusts, and businesses shares. So not all the wealth would necessarily be immediately available. Here we go. But this is $2.5 billion we're talking about here. So it's safe to say that Jay-Z isn't exactly short of a few bucks while he's out and about. So again, somebody counting another man's pockets. And needless to say, people were very divided in the comments. Speaking of counting somebody else's pocket, that's the thing. You can't, no matter what somebody say, in the bottom line is that's his money, right? He can do what he wants to. He can give to who he want to give and not give to who he want to give. If he want to go buy a $1 billion house, he can do that because he earned the money. However he earned it, whether through rap, through business ventures, through investments, he earned the money. The money is his, so he can do what he wants to with it. So if he blows it all and tomorrow ends up broke, you can say, God, I do have all that money and blew it. Man, he was stupid. That's life. Because it's funny, because I remember a time when there was a guy named Stanley Kirk Burrell, also known as MC Hammer. When he came onto the scene, doing all this dancing and rapping and stuff, people dissed him, saying it ain't real rap. He ain't from New York. Then he did all the dancing and have a bunch of people on stages, and people talked about that. They talk about his wardrobe, but he told you, like, hey, I wear these type of clothes because I dance a lot, I need some loose fitting clothes, so my tailor made these. People tried to diss him, but then he made all this money, and this brother helped his community out, brought all his people on the road with him, tried to give them jobs, help pay for them to keep them off the streets. He messed around and dealt with the wrong people, made some bad investments, and lost a lot of his money, filed bankruptcy, I believe, sold his house and all that kind of stuff. And then people talk about him then. And it's like, dude, he did so much for our people, for his people, and he still got dogged. So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But people are all in his business. So when folks like Jay-Z, I don't give a doggone if he got 2.5 billion, 2.5 million, 200,000, $2,500 or $2.50. If the man say he not gonna give, you shouldn't just give people money freely. Shoot, I'm with him on that. It said one person, go back to the article, one person drew attention to just how big a billion is compared to a million, saying Jay-Z has $2.5 billion. His cousin asked for 4,800 and he said no. To put that into perspective, that'd be the equivalent of someone who made 50,000 in a year being asked to give a dime. You know, when you read that, you know, on the surface, you're like, damn, that makes sense, right? And another wrote, other rappers make millions so their family can live happily. He made millions and still want his cousin to struggle. I don't believe that's the case. Want his cousin to struggle. That's necessarily not true. But we're gonna keep reading so we can get an understanding. But others were less sympathetic to the cousin. One wrote, I get it. It's an insignificant amount in the grand scheme, but just giving money away don't ever really help. And it doesn't. It doesn't. You can either be a crutch person or a benefit. You can give money to one person and they use it to go to school, get some kind of education, learn some kind of trade, and then they use that to build on their lifestyle, to improve their lifestyle. Something like that you do. You know, it's like, okay, I can understand that. You do that. Somebody who come up to you and always begging for money, like, man, I need to borrow this. You know, I got a bill to pay. You know, I'm short. How much you short? Oh, I'm short by like so many hundreds, thousands of dollars. Like, damn, how you get that far behind? I mean, how long have you been sitting? No, how long have you not had money? Why you wait till your light's about to get cut off? Why you wait till you're about to get evicted before you ask for some help? You know, whatever the case may be, maybe we can work out a plan to where I can pay this, and then, you know, somehow you can guarantee me I get my money back. Something like that. But it's always an extreme situation to where it's like, if you don't, I guess people feel like if they come to you at the last second and they ask for money, it'll be hard for you to say no because you don't want to see them on the street or without a car or without a job. But that's not fair to the person you're asking, because you've been living this whole time, you know, like everything's cool, and all of a sudden, hey man, I'm about to lose everything right now. I need $7,000. Like, what? No, player, it doesn't work that way. And when you give people money just to maintain their lifestyle, and their lifestyle is not conducive with, without, like, for them to better their life, to move up to the next level, it don't ever really help. Like the person said. Let's go back. Jay-Z is a businessman. I'm sure if his cousin's plan was solid, he would have been more than happy to invest. But sometimes people just be on that bro, trust me stuff. Exactly. That happens all the time. Somebody got an idea, man, if I just had this money, you know, I could bring you back tenfold. Man, I got this idea, man. Let's do this. If you give me the money, I could do this. I could start this coffee shop and make a lot of money. But the problem is, dude, if you ain't never been to college, if you barely graduated high school and you ain't been to college, got a college degree in business and marketing and or finance, if you ain't never held down a full-time job or worked at a business to where you could learn the business from the position that you're in, and you ain't came up with a business plan, a multi-page business plan where it breaks down in detail your plan and how you're going to fulfill it in the resources that you have to make this happen, what the hell is somebody gonna give you money for? I don't care how much money they got. It makes no sense. Look at LeBron James, for instance. You see what he did with his homeboys, and it's a story that's been told, but I feel that story should be told in major detail. There should be like movies, books, documentaries, miniseries on every freaking channel, every news site, every website, every black blogger should do a video about it. Hell, I ain't done it, so I might as well go ahead and do it myself because I'm talking about it. But how this guy, with his talent, took his homeboys, helped his homeboys go to school. He said, they all wanted to be his manager and help him run his businesses and his finances and stuff. Okay. Well, if you're gonna do that, somebody maybe had to tell LeBron, hey, this is how it's gonna have to work. Instead of saying, no, don't let your homeboys do it. Look, hire this firm over here, hire these people over here. They've been doing it. When they know that the people that they are promoting, they probably know them, probably family, probably work with them and trying to get them, trying to hook them up. Somebody had to tell LeBron, look, or he had, look, make sure that your people go to school. If that's what they want to do, they need to go to school, get education, learn it, get degrees, get their feet, get their feet wet, get their foot in the door somewhere so they can learn the business and how to work it. Then let them do it for you. But don't just give them a job and just pay them and they don't know what they're doing, because there's too many people out there who have lost money with jacked up investments, trusting family and friends. Now, like I say, y'all could say that $4,800 ain't nothing to a billionaire, but hell, $4,800 a day could turn to $500,000 tomorrow because one cousin asked for it, another cousin asked for it, then, mama asked for it, dad asked for it, sister asked for it, homeboys you grew up with asked for it. Next thing you know, you're losing a lot of money and helping out a lot of people do nothing, because then the moment you say, man, no, I ain't doing this no more, then they want to get mad. So just go ahead and just tell them no from the jump. Another said, the problem is once you say yes that first time, they always think they can come back to you for more. And it also makes the people around them feel more comfortable asking as well. They become dependent. It's a very slippery slope, just like I just said. And you can take this from an average guy who don't have millions. It's when you give money to people. Man, I remember working in a warehouse making pennies, right? And there was a guy that I worked with. Didn't know him from Adam, but you at work, you cool, you talk, this and the third. I remember the dude wanted to borrow $1. Okay. Then he wanted to borrow another $1. It's like he kept wanting to borrow. He said, I'll pay you back when we get paid Friday. Friday come and he give me my $3 back or $4 back. But then by the end of the day, then the next day come, he's back borrowing the money again. So I'm like, dude, wait a minute, something ain't right about this. The problem is, well, like I said, I knew something was wrong, but then what validated was his problem is the dude was doing too much pillow talk with this chick up there that I was cool with. And she told me that the dude was like, man, he borrowed money from you and then all he doing is he pay you back and he come back. He know he can come back and borrow it again. That's why I do it. So, oh, really? Okay. So now you validated that. Then he come back and borrow money again. I said, I ain't got it. They can only borrow, I ain't got it. Then he get mad at me because I didn't give him the money. But I'm like, dude, I see the game. And that's how people do you, man. It's like they'll borrow. And knowing that shit, you ain't got nothing, they ain't got nothing, but they said you got a little bit more than them. So they think you living high on the hog, but they don't understand you working hard to pay your bills and to save your money and to invest your money, have money for you and your family. And they feel like, well, shoot, you got it. Let me hold some of it. Hell no, I'm done. Like I said, I'm done. I know I'm done doing it. Say to finish, a fun fact about having an enormous amount of money in the bank. If you have $1 million in a savings account with a fairly standard interest rate like 4%, you get $40,000 in interest a year for doing precisely nothing. Must be nice. Well, actually, it's not precisely nothing because it's your million. it is long understood that if you have $1 million, and well, banks ain't paying 4% right now. You know, so you barely getting 1%. They used to be able to get CDs for like 6, 7, 8%, and banks used to be paying like 2, 3%. So you have to get like IRAs or mutual funds or like, you know, accounts. You got to go to places like Fidelity. They don't, you know, who deal in stuff like this, to where, you know, you can put your money in the safe, put your money in the stock market, shoot a safe stuff. Because I mean, stock market goes up and down, but on average, what you get 8 to 10% growth every year, and you can use that growth money to live off of if you know what you're doing and you get into the right investments or whatever. Because that million gonna grow anyway. But yeah, if you can get into the right account, you can live. It's known that if you have $1 million, that really, truly, you should be able to live off the interest. You should be of that money and never touch that million. You get to the end of the year, 40,000. You use that money to live off of, because it's like, what do you call that? I can't think of the word right now. Oh, brain fart. But anyway, it's like the money you earn, so it's like not taxed or something like that. If the million is taxed, whatever, but you can live off of that, invest in this, that, and the third, and you can be, you know what I'm saying, and you can be all right. But for those of you who still feel like Jay-Z is wrong, let's look at one more little story with Cedric the Entertainer, because maybe he can make it make sense to you a little better. This is from Finurah, it's FINURAH.com, and it says Cedric the Entertainer killed his annual $25,000 family fund after family members wanted bigger checks. And this goes back to the point in the last article where the person said that you give them $4,800 a day, then the next time they're gonna want more and more, and then everybody else gonna want money, and eventually, you know, hell, they could break. I mean, they could break a billionaire. You're dealing with family like that. So I'm gonna run through this real quick. It talks about, it said debt is a common issue for families from all backgrounds, but statistics prove it can be a unique and broader issue, in particular for Black families. According to a National Library of Medicine report, Black families have a 50% higher debt to asset ratio than their white counterparts. Black borrowers are also less likely to fully repay loans, which can in turn maximize financial burdens. And then somebody might hear that and say, oh man, they being racist, and you know, why y'all can talk about Black people like that, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you something. How many of y'all had let family borrow money and ain't seen a dime of it? If you have, it's been very few dimes. You hear all kinds of excuses of why you can't get it, why they can't pay you back. They got you next time, they got your income tax check, all this kind of stuff, but you never see the money. Okay. How many times how many people do you know, I'm talking to my people now, how many people you know have got payday loans, card title loans, and for some reason they either paying the minimum balance every month, so they'll be paying that stuff for about 10 years, 10, 20 years for the rest of their life, or their car gets repossessed, right? Or their checks get garnished and they ain't got no money because they got to pay these loans back. Like seriously. So although you can holler that it's a racist comment and who doing, you know what I'm saying, and who's doing this, it don't matter, because you know people like that. I know people like that. I'm talking to my people now. We all know people like this. So regardless of if you think the comment is racist, if it's right or wrong, because you know folks like it, just run with it. Here, Finurah offers a closer look at some challenges Black families face regarding debt, sprinkled with a bit of financial wisdom from industry great Cedric the Entertainer. It says comedian Cedric the Entertainer has been in the entertainment game for years, including the popular 1990s show, The Steve Harvey Show, to movies such as Johnson Family Vacation, Recently, he shared his own money management skills in which he explained he would create a fund with $25,000 for his family to use for emergencies like paying off their mortgage payments or bills. You know what? I told a person that I know one time because they were allowing, their family members, asking for money all the time, asking, needing money for this and the third. Every time you look at they need the money. So I said to myself, look, you need to create an account just for them. Just so they can, and I said this like years ago, a few years back, you know what I'm saying? Just for them, so that way, because of that, when they get ready to ask for money, because they will, you'll have it. Instead of, instead of, you living, you paying your bills, doing your normal things, and then all of a sudden you got your little savings, and all of a sudden, here they come begging. And they're in need. And so you give them the money, and then you're steadily dwindling from your account because you think this is a one-time thing. When I'm looking at this on the outside looking in, I see this has been happening for a long time. So you just may need to put a little money to the side. They said, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't giving them my money, blah, blah, blah. But in a way, they kept doing it, kept giving money, still having the problems until, I guess they recently said, hey, I'm done giving money. But they still helping out their family in other ways, which is fine, which is, hey, you do what you do. But all I'm saying is, man, you just never give anybody cash. And here is a quick tip for anyone out there who has family members who are always asking for, let's say, cash money. Let's, like an example, let's say they need gas money to get somewhere, right? Ain't got gas money for work this week. Instead of sending them the $10, $20, $30 it'll take to fill their tank, what you do is you have them meet you at the gas station and you fill their tank up. If you're gonna do it, right? If you was gonna give them the money, you fill their tank up with gas to the top, and you say, okay, this is all you get. Now, this is where you live. This is where your job is at. I know how far, I know how many times, how long this tank should last you. So this is it. I ain't got nothing else until, so that means, until another 2 weeks, you don't get another dime from, or just, this is, you can say this in your head, but like this, you be like, look, I ain't got nothing else. That's all I got. So you got gas money. I ain't give you money for nothing else. If you run out of gas in the next few days, I ain't got you. I can't help it. It's all I got. I don't get paid for another 2 weeks. If you run out of gas in the next 2 weeks, I can't help you. Period. And then you leave it at that. Because most of the time, what's going to happen is somebody going to need gas money. You send them $20. 2-3 days later, they need some more gas money. You're like, what happened to that gas? And first they're going to tell you, well, I had to go here, go there, and this and the third, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be a lie. What it is they took that they took that $20 you gave them, put 10 in the tank, used the other 10 to buy maybe some cigarettes or some sodas, or went to McDonald's, whatever, spent it on bullcorn, but they know they can come back and ask you for more. But if you fill that tank up and say, hey, if you just tell them, hey, I don't give cash. You need gas money, let's meet me at the gas station, I'll fill your tank up. It's like a story we saw where that young girl was mad because her baby daddy bought her groceries. When she said she need money for groceries, well, shoot, he wouldn't have groceries delivered to her house. And she was upset. She's like, how did he know what I wanted? This and the third. Here's how I would have said it. Okay, I messed up this month, so here's what we'll do next month. Next month, I'm gonna need you to sign up with H-E-B or Kroger or whatever grocery store out there with their delivery system to where they pick your groceries out, go online, get you an account, get you a cart, and put the food in there that the groceries that you want to get. And fill that card up, send me the information. I will pay for the groceries and have it delivered to you. Or you can go pick it up. That's how you do that, to make sure that now whatever other money they have, if they want to blow it on weed or hair or nails or shoes or eyelashes or whatever the case may be, that's on them. But they can't come back to you. They can't come back and use that same lie. I need grocery money. Can't do it. Not for however long. Not for the next 2 weeks. So that means the money that they have, they're gonna have to manage it better. That's just a little tidbit of information. Let's see. Quote, I definitely know how to say no. I say nay. I'm past no. Oh, I say nah. I'm past no. The comedian said during an interview on The Breakfast Club earlier this month when asked about family borrowing. He was on the show and promote a new book, Flipping Boxcars. He had a method to lend it to his family. He said, I used to have a whole fund for the family every year. $25,000 for whatever it is. You can get it if you qualified. Not getting it for no nonsense, but if you needed school money, see, I understand it. Like I said, if you're going to school, trying to do something to help yourself, I personally am more than willing to help you out. But other than that, man, I'm done. He said, okay, back to him. He added that his sister safeguarded the fund and that family members could only get a portion. One person could not get the entire $25,000. Eventually, he said he stopped the fund when some entitled family members, began asking for more. Cedric explained some people want bigger and bigger checks. And so that goes back to the whole Jay-Z story. See, the problem is once you start giving money, people are going to keep coming back and asking to the point to where they don't know how to stop. And they're going to want bigger and bigger and more money. And then it's like, you got to say, even though you have it, you have to tell, because they have to learn how to be sensible about money, not you. Because I should be able to give you, like what the scriptures say, when they had the parable of the talents, when the one servant had 10 talents, one had 5, one had 1. When the master gave to him, the master left, come back. The one with the 10 talents, I think he doubled it. The one with the 5, and talents were like the money or whatever. And the one with the 5 talents, he went out and doubled it. The one that had the 1 talent, he buried it. And he asked why he buried it. Like, man, that ain't nothing. I couldn't do nothing with it. So at least I kept it so I can give it back to you. And that dude got chastised for it. Because they're like, dude, I gave you money to make money. And you sat there and buried it, didn't use it, done something stupid with it, basically. And it didn't grow. Damn near pretty much lost value, because like now, shoot, the American dollar lose value every year. So basically you lost the man money. So man, get the hell out of my face. But anyway, back to this real quick. Like many families, black families use debt to reach financial goals like home ownership, entrepreneurship, or financial higher education. For many, it's a tool, but it does come with life-altering risk. In fact, 25% of income earners have more than 50% of household debt. And that's one thing I'm trying to get rid of, because man, I mean, when you see the money you make, what comes in and what goes out, my gosh, when I look at my bank accounts now and they show you more detail, which is one good positive thing with modern technology. And it says that this is the money that you brought in and this is the money that you put out. And I'm like, damn, like I brought in, first thing I said, dang, I made that much money. And it hurts. Man, it hurts when you see you made so much money, but so much is going out, and a lot of it goes to things that coulda, woulda, shoulda been avoided if I had just made wiser choices. But I'm making wiser choices, and things are getting better. But I mean, shoot, like I said, when it's frustrating, and then when some of the money may have went to things that it shouldn't have went to people that it shouldn't have went to because they didn't use it as a benefit for anything. Man, it hurts like a sun gun. Cedric entertained approach to financially stabilizing his family shows the importance of having a financial safety net. His dedication to support his family is a struggle many high earners and black families face. But for the common person who isn't in the industry elite, but simply trying to help out, financial literacy and education are key to debt and money management. Learn to budget and invest wisely can be the difference between dealing with debt and making informed financial decisions. Cedric the Entertainer's experience serves as a reminder to be financially prepared and responsible for protecting the family's culture or future. Often addressing the root cause of financial disparities can help people understand how to make a more equitable reality for themselves and others. Yes, that's the bottom line. You have to understand why a person is in the situation that they're in before you handle the money. Again, if they refuse to go to work, if they refuse to manage the money wisely, you don't have to have a whole lot of money to live. You can make, nowadays, like I said, the way the economy is, God almighty, it's terrible. But you should be able to make a certain amount of money. No, you won't be able to live in a fancy neighborhood, big house, and this and the third, working at fast food or retail. It just ain't gonna happen. But it doesn't mean you can't live. It doesn't mean you can't say, hey, I see where I'm at. How can I get to the next level? Because one thing is for certain. If you have a history of doing well, it's a little easier. And when I say doing well, like making good decisions with a little bit of resources that you may have, it may make it easier for a person who has a lot more than you to help you out. But if you're not a good decision maker, so let's say like let's say your grandparents or your parents have a house, they're getting older, in their final years, let's just say they passed away, or they're getting older and sick, and they rely on a certain family member to handle their financial affairs, handle their medical affairs, handle the house payments and the bills, and the other family members are upset. The person that they rely on a lot of times probably is a person who has a family, who's made something of themselves, doing good, everything looking good on the surface. So the parent or grandparent is most likely to probably leave that person money or the land or whatever, or the responsibility, because they know that they'll take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Versus you got a person who, let's say, let's just say either a dude who been in and out of jail, or just say a dude who just, ain't really doing nothing with his life, working minimum wage jobs, went to high school, ain't trying to go to college, ain't trying to go to trade school, content with just being where he at, may got few kids, barely can take care of them if he is. Or you got a granddaughter who got, a bunch of kids, single mom, struggling, ain't really trying to do too much. You see what I'm saying? I mean, she can say, man, I got all these kids, it's hard for me, but making excuses for why she can't try to do better in her life when she's not the first and won't be the last woman who got a bunch of kids, or more than one, got children, and has to find a way to live and to do better. I've seen it. Women have a few kids, a few baby daddies who ain't supporting, and they still find some way to get a career, get a job, make things happen. You know what I'm saying? So when you got when you got people who make excuses for why they can't do things, a lot of times people will not give you anything to be responsible for. Like $4,800 to start a business that you can turn to $2 million. It may be a good idea. You may be on to something, but hell, if you don't have the history of being successful, and again, success is not really about money, just being successful as, hey, I know what I got, I see what I have, And now I'm going to figure out a way to make it work for my situation so I can try to move up to the next level. You just gotta look at it that way. But anyway, tell me what you think about these stories. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace and I'll see you on the other side.